Hey AJ, thank you so much for taking your time and sharing a little bit more about the Ultimate Feel Fabulous experience. Can you share a little bit about why you call it the Ultimate Feel Fabulous experience and what it is?
Absolutely, because we have done in the last 10 years 19 conferences, and we decided this time making it more experiential. And by that I mean conferences are great. You learn so much material, but so many people have told us that they understand what they're supposed to do, but then they don't know what to do once they get home. So instead of just teaching you what to do, we want to show you how to do it and how to implement it. So instead of having speaker, we're going to have speakers, of course, wonderful speakers, but we're going to have a workbook, we're going to have exercises, and we're actually going to immerse ourselves in the process of making a permanent lifestyle change and show you how to do it at the conference so that when you leave, you'll have the action steps you can take to make this lifestyle easy and sustainable once you get home.
Hmm. Now, changing your lifestyle and making that shift is pretty hard to do. So what makes this the perfect location or setup to achieve that?
I think because it's serene. You know, we've done many conferences in big cities like Sacramento and Los Angeles and even Las Vegas, and those are great cities. They have a lot to offer, but they're a little bit stressful in my opinion. They're hard to get to. They're frenetic. There's a lot of traffic. Palm Springs, the whole desert, in fact, is beautiful. It's serene. Just waking up to a different sunrise every day, a different sunset every night, the colors of the sky, the beauty of the mountains and the trees, the fact that there's no traffic, that there's no air pollution. It's just I think in my opinion, a better location for learning and implementing that because it just immediately you de-stress when you fly into Palm Springs. It's not like flying into LAX and all the honking and the traffic and the smog. You decompress. And we're at a beautiful hotel. It's a Marriott hotel called Renaissance. It's one of the 5-star hotels in the desert with the largest pool. It's just a beautiful surrounding. And I think that does help people foster learning and implement these changes. Also, there's no smoking. There's no smoking in any of the restaurants, meeting rooms, at the pool, in your own personal room. So that's another plus right there, if you ask me. So it more fosters the healthy lifestyle when not everybody around you is drinking and smoking and gambling.
For sure, for sure. What can you share a bit about like the food and maybe activities that
Yeah.
come together with the experience?
Well, sure. So, you know, of course, the hotel has a gym. So for people that like to work out and have a regular routine, they can absolutely do that there. But we are going to be having yoga every morning at the conference. It's taught by Michelle Vakili, who's a certified yoga teacher. She actually teaches yoga at True North. And the kind of yoga she's teaching is called yin restorative. So you don't have to change your clothes. You're not going to get all sweaty, so you can go right to the conference afterwards. It's suitable for all ages and all activity levels. As long as you're able to get down on the floor and get up, you're able to do this kind of yoga. It's very grounding, heart-centered. It's very calming because this experience is more about the heart and love and of yourself and other people and acceptance and to get you in the right frame of mind to make these changes for your permanent healthy lifestyle. So what better way to start your day than calming the mind and relaxing the body? And that's to me, that's what Palm Springs is. It's like when I used to fly home to Los Angeles after a speaking job, I just never wanted to go home because for me, LA was very oppressive, and the energy there and the traffic and the smog and the noise. But when you fly into Palm Springs, which is an international airport, which means that they have flights from everywhere in the world, you just experience a sense of peace and calm. And that's what we want the conference to be. Instead of speaker, and no breaks, there's going to be breaks for us to work with our workbook and meet people and do the exercises that are going to help us continue doing what we learned at the conference well beyond the conference.
Can you share a little bit about the food that we're going to serve at the conference as well?
Yes, it's completely delicious, compliant, and Chef AJ approved. So one of the most important things, as I mentioned, I've done 19 conferences. This will be my 20th that I'm involved in, is the food, especially because it's so key to people's recovery from any lifestyle disease or food addiction or excess weight. So you got to get the food right. And if it's not delicious, then people aren't going to sign on for very long. So we always do what's called a test meal. And some hotels, first of all, aren't even interested in doing vegan in general. But then when you give the extra restriction, well, yeah, but you can't use any oil or sugar or salt. A lot of them just say, go to another hotel. So you can kind of tell right away, by how they react. And, when I said to them, they go, no problem. I'm like, okay, well, we need to do a test meal. So the sous chef, actually, his name is Carlos, Chef Carlos, took so much interest that he actually read my book, and he took so much pride in this test meal. He served 7 of my recipes, including red lentil chili, black bean mushroom chili, bodacious beet salad, OMG watermelon salad, cram muffin, with 2 others I can't think of right. Oh, the quinoa salad. Can't think of what the 7th one was. I have photos, but I thought I was eating in my own kitchen. It's like it tasted exactly like my food. I know what my food's supposed to taste like, and I know he made it compliant. And I go, how did you do this? He goes, well, I read your book. And I'm like, I can't believe it. And then the plating. I mean, he plated it like just the extra care that he took when he served the cram muffin to make like a little swipe on the plate with unsweetened applesauce to make the food visually appealing as well as delicious. So I'm really excited to be working with a chef of this caliber that has an interest in doing this, and they even want to put some healthy things on the menu for people. You don't need to eat at the restaurant during the conference, but let's say you decided to come early or stay late so that you can get some compliant food. And if you do come early, which I hope you do, because the Thursday night before is a really fun time in Palm Springs, they close off the main street, Tockwitz it's called, and you can walk literally from one end to the other. There's no cars, and they have street vendors, not only food, but all kinds of beautiful art to buy. They have music, and it's a really fun thing to do. And the art museum actually stays open late on Thursday night till 8 o'clock and is completely free on Thursday. So if you can get in the day before, you could have there's a lot of other things to do in Palm Springs, the aerial tramway, but this street fair on Thursday night, it's a lot of fun, and I'm going to be going to it so we can all go together.
For sure. And you mentioned speakers. Who is coming as a speaker, and who's going to guide us through the whole experience?
Oh boy, we have great speakers. It's funny because all the doctor speakers that we've chosen were actually chosen from a group of speakers that we were considering that were participants in the Real Truth About Weight Loss Summit. And one of the reasons they were chosen, not just for their excellent knowledge of the medical literature, but because of who they were as people. And these were people that people said, I love this doctor so much. He gets it. He's so caring. He's so warm. And that's sort of what we want to be at this conference, is to be like more heart-centered, more, not that we're not loving at other conferences, but instead of just hitting you over the head with the science, we want to add more compassion and self-love and self-acceptance into this. And these doctors were perfect for it. If you've ever heard of Dr. Hans Steele, he's helped so many people with his CHIP program, of which he founded many years ago, over 50,000 graduates worldwide. And he has such a kind, loving, warm, compassionate manner that people love him. And then the other speakers are the same. Dr. Columbus Batiste, who is the head of cardiology at Kaiser Riverside, such a warm, caring person, and just really understands how difficult this is, meaning, getting out of the pleasure trap and staying there. And again, the doctors we've chosen actually work with patients, not to put down doctors that don't. I mean, academics are great. They can give you the science, but they can't always give you the tools to implement it because they've never actually worked one-on-one with patients or clients. All these doctors still see patients on a regular basis. So Dr. Batiste has a thriving practice at Kaiser Permanente, where he is really getting them to affect permanent dietary and lifestyle change. Dr. Steve Lewenda not only does this at Kaiser Permanente as a family practice doctor in his Plants 180 program, where he's seeing people who have actually avoided, limb amputation through changing their diet. He is his own success story. He was 70 pounds overweight before he found out this information that he's going to teach to you. And of course, we have everyone's favorite resident psychologist, Dr. Doug Lyle, who really understands why this is so hard. He explains that it is not your fault. You are not flawed. This was a problem you weren't designed to solve, getting out of the pleasure trap. And he's actually going to be speaking every day, at least every weekend day, because people love him. He's so entertaining and so engaging and so warm. All of our speakers are. And then, of course, we have our girls, Michelle, who's going to be teaching yoga. We've got Heather Goodwin, she is the personification of resiliency. So when people say, oh, my life's so hard, I can't do this, wait till you hear from Heather. Heather's somebody that at one time had lost 300 pounds And, she gives people hope because, she's on the journey. She doesn't have it all necessarily figured out for the rest of her life, but she knows what to do, and she can inspire you to take that next step to do it, as we will be doing the next steps together through the workbook and through the interactions that we're going to have working at the conference while we work on ourselves, while we hear this information, or not at the same minute, but afterwards working with the workbook. And then we have Tammy Kramer, who, in my opinion, teaches one of the most important things, if not the most important things, which is batch cooking techniques. Because if you are not prepared, it doesn't matter how much science you know. You can't eat the science. You have to find a system to have healthy food ready all the time. There's a saying that preparation trumps motivation. And if you don't have healthy food ready, easily and accessible at all times, this is where you're going to fall off. You're going to pick whatever is easy. Doesn't matter if it's healthy. And she has got this figured out. I've been to her house. I've seen her system. And she's going to show you it's doable, it's affordable, and it's not that difficult. She's going to show you how to do it. So we're doing a lot more how-to in this conference rather than just the why, because I think most people coming to us, they kind of know the why. They know they need to eat better. They need to move their body more, but they don't know how to implement it. So we're going to have action steps, a workbook, exercises, so that you can go home feeling empowered, not just recharged from the serenity of the desert, but you think of this as the ultimate renewal, reboot, recharge, with actionable steps that you're going to start practicing at the conference, that you're going to take home and continue in your daily life, so that you are guaranteed to be successful this time.
Yeah, and I think it's important to mention that the workbook and the conference isn't just for you to sit down and go through it by yourself, but AJ is going to walk you through and be there with you on stage, doing examples, doing the same exercises. The speakers are going to be there. We're going to have Q&As. We're going to have interaction.
Yeah, this is going to be a very different conference. That's why we didn't call it a conference. That's why we call it the experience. And it is the ultimate Feel Fabulous experience. So whether you're new to me, or whether you've been in Ultimate Weight Loss or Feel Fabulous, it's the same dietary style we teach in every group that we facilitate. We're all going to get together and love and support each other and learn how to make this workable in your daily busy life, so that you can go home from the conference, not just with the information of like, oh yeah, this is right, I should do it, but oh yeah, now this is how I'm going to do it, because we're going to start doing it every day at that thing. Because we realized that a lot of people said, yeah, well, now I know what to do, but how to do it. And now we want to teach you how to do it. And that's kind of where the idea came from you guys, who said, this was a great conference, but I have no idea what I'm supposed to do when I get home. I mean, not to put down my conferences or any other conferences, but most conferences are speaker, 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 and that's great. But sometimes people get so overloaded with the information, but they don't really have an action plan. And we wanted this to be more like a retreat or an immersion, where there are going to be speakers, but to have longer breaks where we can actually implement what we're learning, so that you can go home knowing that you can do this, you can be successful.
Thank you so much, AJ.
Thank you, guys. I hope to see you in May in Palm Springs.